American Psycho, the Mary Harron directed adaptation of the popular novel written by Bret Easton Ellis, follows Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, a narcissistic, hyperbolic caricature of the superficial 1980s yuppie Wall Street culture. Obsessions with his own physique emphasized through detailed morning workout and beauty routines, as well as the branding of his clothing and the detailing of physical violence on his victims. Roger Ebert, focusing on the significance of the film's female director, states that it's just as well a woman directed American Psycho. She's transformed a novel about bloodlust into a movie about men's vanity. A male director might have thought Patrick Bateman, hero of American Psycho, was a serial killer because of psychological twists, but Mary Harron sees him as a guy who's prey to the usual male drives and compulsions. He just acts out a little more. Mary Harron's direction allows the film to focus on portraying Patrick Bateman, preserving the arrogance and egocentric personality from the perspective of highlighting male insecurities under the guise of masculinity, rather than providing conventional narrative twists and turns expected of psychological thrillers. Harron's focus is on obsession and hiding imperfections, a trait of the novel's prose preserved effectively for the film adaptation. For example, a surprisingly intense sequence focuses on Patrick Bateman and his colleagues comparing their business cards based on typeface, engraving, weight and finish. The business card differences are often subtle, but for Patrick Bateman, each new business card presents another potential insecurity. Each card could possibly have a design improvement over his own, and his difficulty to hide how this impacts his ego emphasizes the film's focus on male insecurity. Roger Ebert, detailing this point further in reference to the scene, states that their sexual insecurity is manifested as card envy. They carry on grim rivalries expressed in clothes, offices, salaries, and being able to get good tables in important restaurants. It is their uneasy secret that they make enough money to afford to look important, but are not very important. Patrick Bateman especially embodies sexual insecurity. A few sequences within the film focus on his hiring of female escorts, as he uses them sexually in demeaning ways that boosts his ego. Once the sex is over, it even delves into violence. One of the escorts suggests she doesn't want to spend another night with Bateman due to his sexual actions last time. Once offered enough money, Bateman finishes his sexual escapade with her by chasing her through the apartment building with a chainsaw, dropping it down a stairwell as she attempts to escape, killing her. Roger Ebert, discussing the representation of murder within the film, states that all of the murders are equally real or unreal, and that isn't the point. The function of the murders is to make visible the frenzy of the territorial male when his will is frustrated. The focus on murder, while not necessarily as graphic as in the Bret Easton Ellis novel, the violence within the film is shocking whether it is realistic or not. A popular scene, now immortalized through internet memes due to its level of absurdity, has Patrick Bateman lecture a colleague/rival on the merits of Huey Lewis and the News's music as he thoroughly prepares to kill him, wearing a plastic raincoat and carrying an axe. The scene is absurd in its presentation, but when considering the aspect of male insecurity, this scene plays like Patrick Bateman's imagination, as if personally considering his idea of the perfect murder. This aspect of murder, represented as equally real and unreal, comes full circle towards the film's conclusion, where Patrick Bateman's reliability as a narrator is also taken into question. Chased down by the police and admitting to his crimes over the phone, the next day Patrick Bateman seems genuinely surprised that nothing has changed, and that even characters he claimed to have murdered are now still alive. A seemingly surreal moment at first, the film is presenting Christian Bale as an unreliable narrator. How many of his murderous actions were genuine, if any at all? His level of egocentric obsession to perform perfect murders, are these murderous scenes that were previously portrayed just imagined, as if Bateman has been planning perfect murders only to be too carried away with his own imagination? Bateman's intense territorial insecurities at this point, as the film concludes, have developed from an easily bruised ego to an uncomfortable madness. In conclusion, Mary Harron's intelligent adaptation of the Bret Easton Ellis novel American Psycho focuses less on narrative-led twists and turns expected from psychological thrillers, focusing more on developing the extreme extent of male insecurities, focusing on the territoriality of Patrick Bateman and his obsessive attention to the flaws of others to hide his own, an aspect that is developed through his intensely violent and sexual endeavours, some which may or may not be based within reality, the film has understandably earned its place as a cult classic.